Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet a leadership expert who's going to teach us all how to thrive even during disruption. Her incredible story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, this happens very often in many companies. You have a great salesperson who is thriving at sales, and so then you make him or her the manager of the sales team, and then suddenly they haven't even read a book on leadership. They have no way of managing this team, and they're frustrated, and it leads to toxic behavior on the part of the manager and the employees, and that's why people burn out and leave. Somebody who knows a lot about that is my next guest, Mita Shah Bhagat. She is a leadership expert, and she's with Leadership for the Future. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. We're now just getting to know each other, but you told me a story right before we started about how you came from this very stable life in India into, I won't call it chaos, but let's call it reoccurring change. Would you share that with us?
Oh, yes. I grew up in a city where 3 generations of my family lived in India, and you couldn't go on a date without your family knowing. But then I moved to the US where 2 decades ago, and we've lived in 5 states, 9 cities, 11 houses or apartments. So it's been constant change with raising a family and changing careers. So a lot of change that I've experienced in the last couple of decades.
And I think it's prepared you well, because let's take the pandemic. I mean, boy, the whole world went from 100 miles an hour to a screeching halt. We all had to learn how to manage remotely. Talk about the pandemic and the lessons that you learned during the pandemic.
Yeah, it's just surprising how many people started working from home. To keep teams effective remotely has been such a big challenge. Even today, people are expecting hybrid work environment if possible, rather than being in person all the time. So yeah, those changes, along with high quit rates, we saw pandemic bring about so many employees leaving their jobs, and either to support their families or for other reasons, or pursue their passions. So we have seen a lot of change across COVID for sure.
Absolutely. We're going to pull up your website. Yeah, you've been very successful. And as we scroll on your website, I want to talk about the kinds of clients that you like to work with. You like to work with individuals within an organization, or do you also do group coaching?
Yes, we do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching. Most of our clients are the ones that are growing really quickly. They need to groom their top performers to be effective leaders. And so that's our main client. We also have some off-the-shelf workshops that we offer, which apply to many situations, such as the one we are offering right now is for neuroscience of effective leadership. It's also how to become a leader that people want to follow. It's been very successful, and we've got such good feedback that we decided to make it a complimentary offering, and we offer it every month. So any viewers wanting to attend it, happy to share the detail.
Mita supplied us with a lot of great statistics, and the one that jumps out is 81% of frontline managers are not satisfied with their own performance because of a lack of training. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, that's such a staggering number. And that is when organizations do it right, when they invest in leadership development, they have an ROI of almost $7 per dollar that they invest in leadership development. We also talk about retention here because people leave people and managers. They don't really leave companies. And so when you feel like the company is invested in helping you be successful in your role, the retention can increase drastically, which can be a big ROI for organizations.
Absolutely. We've got some video from our library that we're going to put up of just frustrated bosses, frustrated employees. And I think one of the things that we should identify is imposter syndrome, because I know you've experienced this, where you have these very young leaders that are sometimes put in a position of having to manage people their parents' age. And imposter syndrome is real, isn't it?
It is absolutely real. And you nailed another topic there, working across generations, which is also a very frustrating factor right now. And so in terms of imposter syndrome, I think I don't think anybody in their leadership roles really don't get impacted by it, because in essence, whenever you are in a new role, you're trying to do something new. And it's likely that all of us feel like an imposter when we are doing something that we've never done earlier. So it's true, but there are strategies such as make your brag list, make sure you keep it ready and review it to celebrate your successes periodically, so that you feel confident. You don't feel like an imposter as much.
Sure. You were sharing with us your favorite story of a client that you've helped. Would you share that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So this client of mine had been in leadership roles for a couple of years now, but she felt like she was ready to move on. However, she felt burned out with already her amount of work that she had at the moment, and was not sure how she could grow without taking on more responsibilities. However, during coaching sessions, we realized that she needed to have that candid conversation with her managers and leaders to know what happens if she fails. And she was surprised to find out that she had more than enough support from them. They had been there. They knew how it felt. And they gave her, they trusted her, but also supported her if things were to go wrong, to shoulder that responsibility. Moving on, she wanted to delegate more effectively to her team members who were managers as well. And to be able to delegate effectively, she felt guilty because it was taking things off her plate. We had to discuss about a shift in her mindset, whereby she was helping her team members grow in their leadership skills by giving them responsibilities that they were passionate about growing in. And so change in that perspective helped her to delegate so much more effectively, that she was not guilty. She freed up a lot of time to be strategic, to build relations both vertically and horizontally within the organization, whereby she was ready to take on that next role. And God willing, we are waiting to hear that pretty soon.
Wow. Well, we're almost out of time. You're so inspirational. Final thoughts. If somebody's watching this and they think, I think I found my coach, the process, they can get in touch with you through the website? And
yes.
You have an exploratory Zoom or face-to-face?
Absolutely. We have, you can visit us at leadershipforthefuture.com. You can reach me at Mita at leadershipforthefuture.com. We do have an exploratory 20-minute session where we can talk about your challenges specifically and how we can best help you.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to end with the website, which again is leadershipforthefuture.com. Mita, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.